The genetic tapestry of ancient Egypt, unraveling a complex legacy. The pyramids stand as silent witnesses to a civilization that has captivated the world for millennia. The allure of a direct, unbroken lineage between modern Egyptians and their ancient forebears is a powerful one. However, the reality is far more intricate. The genetic history of ancient Egypt is not a simple, linear narrative, but a complex tapestry woven from threads of conquest, migration, and cultural exchange. In 2017, a groundbreaking study by researchers at the Max Planck Institute sent ripples through the fields of Egyptology and genetics. The study focused on analyzing DNA extracted from mummified remains dating back to the New Kingdom period. The findings were published in the prestigious journal Nature Communications. The research team meticulously analyzed mitochondrial DNA from these ancient individuals. The results suggested a closer genetic affinity between ancient Egyptians and populations from the Near East and the Levant. This was particularly evident when compared to modern Egyptians. The implication was significant. A potential genetic shift had occurred in Egypt over time. This raised questions about the extent to which modern Egyptians truly represent the genetic heritage of their ancient counterparts. The Max Planck study, while impactful, was not without its critics, particularly among Egyptian scholars. Concerns were raised about the limited sample size used in the analysis. Some argued that the number of mummies sampled was too small to draw definitive conclusions about the entire ancient Egyptian population. Doubts were also cast on the quality of DNA preservation in the mummified remains. The hot, arid climate of Egypt, while conducive to mummification, can also degrade DNA over thousands of years. Critics also accused the researchers of overly simplistic interpretations of the genetic data. They emphasized the importance of considering the broader historical context when interpreting genetic findings. The history of Egypt is one of constant interaction with other cultures and civilizations. Concerns were also voiced regarding potential contamination during the DNA extraction and analysis process. Even minute amounts of foreign DNA could skew the results and lead to inaccurate conclusions. Egypt's geographical location has always made it a crossroads of civilizations. Throughout its long history, Egypt has been subject to numerous conquests and migrations. The Greek conquest under Alexander the Great in the 4th century BCE marked a significant turning point. This led to the introduction of new populations into Egypt, along with intermarriage between Greeks and Egyptians. Roman rule, which followed the Greek period, further contributed to population mixing. Roman soldiers, administrators, and merchants settled in Egypt, adding to the genetic diversity of the region. The Arab conquest in the 7th century CE brought about another major wave of migration and cultural assimilation. Arab tribes migrated to Egypt, intermingling with the existing population and gradually converting the country to Islam. Later, the Ottoman Empire exerted its influence over Egypt for centuries. This further shaped the genetic landscape of the country. DNA maps provide a visual representation of the distribution of genetic markers across different populations. By comparing ancient Egyptian DNA maps with those of modern populations, we can gain insights into genetic shifts over time. These maps reveal a complex picture. They show evidence of persistence, dilution, and even replacement of certain genetic markers. The story is not one of simple replacement, but rather a complex interplay of continuity and change. Some genetic lineages have persisted for millennia, while others have been diluted or replaced by more recent migrations. Side-by-side facial comparisons between reconstructed ancient Egyptian faces and modern individuals can be visually engaging. However, it's crucial to acknowledge the limitations and subjectivity inherent in this approach. Reconstructing facial features from fragmented DNA is a challenging task. The process involves a degree of interpretation and approximation. Furthermore, facial comparisons are inherently subjective. What one person perceives as a striking resemblance, another may see as merely coincidental. The genetic story of ancient Egypt is not a simple, unbroken lineage. It is a dynamic and evolving narrative shaped by millennia of interaction and exchange. Studies like the Max Planck study offer valuable insights into the genetic history of ancient Egypt. However, they must be interpreted cautiously, taking into account the limitations of the data and the complexities of Egyptian history. Ongoing research, incorporating larger sample sizes and more sophisticated analytical techniques, will continue to refine our understanding. Critical perspectives from Egyptian scholars and other experts are essential for ensuring a balanced and nuanced interpretation of the evidence.